Here in the Merfolk deck list, a Hibernation. Other than that, pretty usual stuff: Lawan, Jite, Submerged, Hydroblast, and Blue Elemental Blast.
Thanks.
What did AJ Hansen just walk by? What did he say?
So that was his favorite pro.
You're his favorite pro. All right,
I'm so happy right now.
So for those of you just joining us, this is round 5 of the Legacy portion of the Open Series, Star City Games Open Series here in New Jersey. We are here bringing you coverage with me, Gavin Verhey, and my coverage partner, Jake Van Lunen. On your left, you'll see Gerard Fabiano playing Team America. Pretty standard list compared to the one that we saw last week. He's playing fourth Himdaturak. A couple other maybe small changes he's made, but overall the list is pretty similar. It's a deck he's very familiar with. Gerard loves his rock decks. He's done great things with them. He played
masterful rock player.
Yeah, I mean
Gerard knows how to play discard spells.
Yes, he won a Grand Prix with rock a couple years back. On the other side of the table, Justin Kohler, looking nice and dapper. He's playing Merfolk pretty stock list. This is very close, if not the same, to Alex Bertoncini's list. That's got 1 Spell Pierce in the main deck. Alex's trademark 1 Mishra's Factory, alongside, let's see, Curse Catcher, Silver Adept, Lord of Atlantis, Coral Helm Commander, Regery Sovereign, some Kiras, and a single Sora of Temptation. So a lot of the usual suspects sitting there.
So Justin leads with a Vial.
Yep, Vial comes down.
Vial's like such a powerhouse against any blue-based deck.
I mean, Vial is just the best card in so many decks.
Yeah.
You play on turn 1, even against blue-based
arguably
decks,
the best card in the format.
People have called for it to be banned. It's just so strong. I remember when Darksteel came out, it took a long time for that card to catch on. So it looks like
I think I think his opponent drew his card and then attempted to put the Vial counter on the Vial.
And that is not okay. So I think that counter is going to get removed if it happened as Gerard said it happened. Nope. Looks like the counter stayed on. That is a red dice, correct? On the Vial still? So yes, yep. Looks like the counter got to stay on.
So I don't think he drew his card yet. I think we misunderstood the situation.
Yeah. It's unclear. I mean, Gerard knows what Vial does, so not sure exactly what happened there. But and Lord of Atlantis from Justin. Gerard goes for a Brainstorm here. And Gerard figuring out what is he going to put back here. Goes for Curse Catcher. Just inside. Slowly amassing his Merfolk army.
I think Justin's just got a pair of lands and a pair of Dazes in his hand at this point.
Okay, so he's going to have to ride that Curse Catcher and Lord of Atlantis a little bit here.
Yeah.
Of course, Daze is a good card to have back up. The trick of the Merfolk deck is with the Aether Vial, you can really abuse your islands because you can just pick them up to Daze and you don't have to worry about having a ton in play to cast your spells. So Daze doesn't really have a drawback. You can Force a Will and keep your pressure up. So you can activate your Mutavaults and pick up your islands to Daze.
Yeah, Vial lets the deck operate under a lot of stress.
And there's the hymn. Gerard's like, all right, let's go to rolling. 4, 4. All right, take that one. So for those who normally might just look at their opponent's hand or look at the back of their opponent's cards and pick 2 cards, usually you want to randomize it because it's possible player got a read on you somehow and knows which card is which. And in those cases, it's just better to randomize it so it's actually random and no one's getting an unfair advantage for being able to roll the dice. Also, it's truly random that way, where people can like position cards in their hand to make it less likely for you to pick one or something like that. So rolling a dice when a random effect happens is usually a reasonable call. And all right, in for 4 on Justin's side, drops Gerard down to 16. Or let's see, should be 14 because of a fetch line crack, right? I see 2 fetch lines in Gerard's graveyard. He didn't gain life anyway, right?
No. So
yeah. So Gerard
should go down 14.
14. Yep. And Tombstalker comes in. Gerard exiles his graveyard. Pretty happy for that Tombstalker.
He plays around both dazes.
Yeah. He's like, I don't need any of these. And Tombstalker is going to be quite a threat. Fortunately for Justin, his Curse Catcher still has Island Walk, Lord of Atlantis granting the Island Walk ability to all other merfolk, and +1/+1, which is a nice little bonus. So Justin dazes here, floating a mana to make sure he doesn't get dazed back or has another way to pay for it. And Engineer Explosive doesn't really do much.
Yeah, I mean, the explosives wasn't really necessary, so I'm sure Gerard's happy to have his opponent use up a counterspell on that.
Yeah.
Again, though, with 4 lands in play, you really don't want to walk into a daze with anything. Now that explosives would look really nice. Huh, Gerard passes without attacking. It seems like an odd play. He's saving himself the damage from the Lord of Atlantis, but the other creatures have... Ooh, that's a nice one.
Okay. Justin establish a position.
If trying to figure it out now. You cannot profitably counter this Go for the Throat. Oh no, he's going for it. It's not going to work out, buddy. Yep. Not going to work out. You end up with just a Lord. That's like not...
He threw a lot of resources at that Go for the Throat.
Yeah.
I don't know. And now Gerard feels like maybe he's got the opportunity to attack with the Tombstalker. That Aether Vial is threatening. He can plop something down. But, okay, he just drew Force here. So Justin is running low on threats.
Yeah, Gerard's looking like he's in control of this game, though. Ooh, a Goyf. He's going to put the brakes on this. Justin's got a Wasteland here, but he's not going to want to sacrifice it because he has the Force in hand and a blue card to pitch. Unfortunately, it's looking like, you know, he's in chump mode.
Yeah, this is Justin is pretty much out here. The thing about the Merfolk deck is it's really good about gaining tempo early, and then sometimes in like creature mirrors it can hold the ground going long. But man, and when you get to a position like this where all you have is one guy, it is very difficult to get back into the game.
Is that lethal? That's not lethal?
Well, Gerard exiled his graveyard with Tombstalker.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah, you're right.
That Tarmogoyf is not very large.
He's just like land instant creature.
Let's see. Well, I don't know what's on...
So one more than land instant creature.
Yep, and Justin loses that one. Did not have a pretty good start there. He just had a couple creatures, and that was it. See if...
Yeah, Gerard played that Go for the Throat really well. He waited for a really strong opportunity to do that.
Yeah, like that Go was excellent for him. I mean, it essentially killed 2 creatures for 1 card and made his opponent use a daze, which is very effective. Definitely worked out well.
So I spoke to Jerry a little bit about his Doomsday pile.
Okay.
And he informed me that he simply forgot about Carpet of Flowers.
Oh no.
And that's how he messed up. So on those turns where seemingly was not really using the Carpet of Flowers when it would have been profitable, that's what was going on.
Not a card a lot of people are used to playing with.
Yeah,
certainly. I have it pulled up permanently here because everyone who stepped into the booth has had to read Carpet of Flowers. It's up on my screen if you want to take a look, or if you're already pulling it up. At the beginning of, just to reiterate, Carpet of Flowers, at the beginning of each of your main phases, if you haven't added mana to your mana pool with this ability this turn, you may add up to X mana of any one color to your mana pool, where X is the number of islands target opponent controls. It's a 1 green mana enchantment, uncommon from Urza Saga. And the advantage here is for like all the decks that Jerry wants it against are blue, so you just plop it down on turn 1 or 2, and you just gain such an insurmountable mana advantage. Easily on turn 3, you could do something like Doomsday. Okay, you countered it Show and Tell, which is such a big mana boost for that deck. But we will not see any Carpet of Flowers in this battle here. Gerard, Fabiano.
Very interesting card. Really powerful.
It's really weird. Like, you don't really see a lot of it. I saw it in a couple Legacy sideboards a long time ago, but I haven't seen it recently that much. Gerard Fabiano pretty handily took the first game here against Merfolk. Kind of a weak draw by Justin Kohler.
Yeah, it looked like the Merfolk draw was going to be pretty explosive when he played like the Vial into the Lord.
Yeah.
But then he ended up sputtering out a bit. He never really got a good opportunity to use his dazes.
Yeah.
Gerard played around them very well.
Yeah, it just looked like his hand didn't develop. I mean, he had Curse Catcher, Lord, Aether Vial, and 2 dazes, which seemed awesome, but we didn't just draw the Merfolk to back it up, and that was a huge issue for him.
Yeah, if you draw more guys there, then you're in a pretty strong position. You can keep on attacking.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, yeah, I mean, like, if you just go back to that game and imagine he would drew like another Lord of Atlantis or a Merfolk Sovereign or, you know, something of that nature, and the game switches entirely. Suddenly he's a pretty big aggressor. Gerard doesn't have a lot of good answers to what he's doing, and he can use his cards for tempo.
Well, Gerard at the end of that game still had all these, so...
I mean, Gerard still did have plenty of spells he could cast.
Yeah, he had like five live ones, so...
Yeah. But things go a little differently. I could definitely have seen Justin picking up that game instead of Gerard. So, players present and about to pick up their first 7 cards. See, on Gerard's half, see like Jace at Force of Will. Over on Justin's side, I see Force of Will, Lord of Atlantis, Kira, maybe 2 Force of Wills. And a Daze, and they both decide to keep, and they're off to the races. Gerard leads on Misty Rainforest, Justin with just an island, no Vial this time. Mutavault on turn 2 for Justin, and he has no play.
Yeah, his hand is not aggressive at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has a Lord, but he did not cast it last turn.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a second blue.
Right. That's a big feeling. Oh, and there's a Mutavault. That is still not a second blue. He can play down the Reejerey this turn. But that could be a huge issue if he can't get the second blue. I mean, the Reejerey on its own isn't really accomplishing a ton. It will make those Mutavaults into 6 or to 3/3, so they can swing for 6
power, yeah.
if he draws another. But he really needs that second blue. The good thing about the Reejerey is it really lets Justin unload his hand. And it's getting Forceful Willed.
Yeah, this is one of the major issues with Merfolk decks in general. When you look at Legacy, the decks are very, very reliant on their Aether Vials, and it's hard to train yourself to know that to keep a hand without Aether Vial, it's really important to have UU in your opener.
Gerard fetches. Justin searches. Here comes Tarmogoyf down, man. And he forces again. Justin, good at forcing things, but running out of cards in hand pretty fast. The thing about Force is, while it is a free counter, I think a lot of players really overvalue it simply because it's a 2-for-1 every time. You lose a card on the exchange. And now Justin just has that Reejerey. Those Mutavaults are going to be great if he draws the land, but he doesn't. He does draw Stony Brook Banneret, which he can play, or not.
Yeah, he'd rather just.
Oh no, sorry. Is
pick
that
up 5 points.
what is that card? It's not a banner. Right? You don't play that card in Legacy.
Yeah, I mean,
Silvergill Adept.
Thought maybe you were. It might be an adept, in which case he cannot play it. He doesn't have another
Right.
Merfolk.
Doesn't have another Merfolk. It's used to. It doesn't look like either. Oh, it's a submerge. That's what it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the submerge is definitely good. It'll help him keep up his tempo here. Gerard is at 11, and if, like, for example,
Yeah,
Gerard,
all he has to do is lean on him a little bit.
right, like if Gerard leads with,
Or I might fall over.
with say, Tarmogoyf or some kind of creature, okay, and then he submerges, and then, you know, he can go activate both Mutavault attack, but that Tombstalker might put a wrench in things. Mistress Factory, nice little addition. Can pump Mutavault, which is worth noting.
Yeah, it has
Going to
all creature types.
it's going to activate both Mutavaults here. 3/3 Mutavaults.
Doesn't submerge? Is it any creature?
Well, I think so. He's looking at that submerge.
Green.
I thought it was you can play it for free if there was if they have a forest.
yeah.
If they have a forest near an island, you can play submerge and it puts it on top of their library.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it does. It costs 5 normally if they don't, but in Legacy, you're seldom paying retail. So yeah, it's true about for most things in Legacy. By the way, you're seldom paying retail on anything. Everything comes with a discount except for the cards. So 8 mana, or sorry, 8 damage in on Gerard. Consuming Vapors, nice little standard legal card there. You don't see a ton of. Now so Gerard's gonna go up to 5. If Justin draws a land, he has him dead because he can pump with the Mistress Factory. But that was an Aether Vial, not a land. So instead he's just going to bash Gerard down to 1 life. Consuming Vapors will rebound and not deal any damage, or not gain him any life. And then Gerard has to find a way to beat the army of manlands that Justin is presenting.
It's pretty tough, like...
Alright, well Jace comes down. He's going to try and dig, but I don't know what he's going to be able to find here. Gerard thinking, you know what would be good right now?
If his opponent attacked his Jace?
Yes.
Is that what he's going for?
I mean...
I don't know. Like, that seems like it's all out, right? Like
bluffing Gerard's verdict. Hope to gain some life if there were lands in Justin's hand, which there clearly aren't because he would have killed them last turn. I mean, I think Gerard's just playing it out. Giving Justin the opportunity to mess up, which is always reasonable. I don't think this game is going to run low on time, so these players are... You know, Gerard has every right to take the time to play the Jace he wants and see if Justin will accidentally attack it. Seems pretty unlikely, but it could happen. Crazier things have happened. There are all kinds of stories about people lightning bolting creatures when their opponent is at 3 or less life.
What's Gerard's list now?
Justin sends in with his man lands, and Gerard picks up his cards. Merfolk picks up a game, so they'll be heading into game 3, and Gerard Fabiano will be on the play for the 3rd game. So that...
In the background, you can see Nate Pease telling a bad beat story. That's what he does. He wears his hats crooked and tells bad beat stories. It's the master.
So in that match, like, we saw Justin pretty aggressively use 2 Force of Wills, and I think he looked really far behind for a second there, but the lands were really able to recoup it. It shows you like how that Merfolk deck can go from like 0 to 60 really fast because all he had was a Merfolk retreat. That was it. His draw was kind of slow and just like, all right, force some key spells. I have 2 Mutavaults. I'm going to crash in for 6, 8 with just 1 creature and 2 Mutavaults back. I mean, yeah. That's what the Merfolk deck does, and that's why I think it's a Legacy mainstay. Some people have harped on the deck, saying it's too fair, saying it gets too many bad draws, saying its mana is bad. But if you look at that game, like it drew its mana poorly, it didn't draw a good mix of creatures and spells, and it was still able to take down Gerard Fabiano.
Yeah, the fact that he forced both creatures was extremely helpful there. Like, he was able to submerge the Tombstalker once it came out.
That submerge was huge.
And really just had the right cards to deal with what Gerard was doing.
Yeah, I mean, Submerge is such a beating. It's a card that, when it works, like, every time you cast it for free and just put a creature on top of their library, I mean, that's just an unbelievable card. It sets them back, especially in Legacy, where you're often expending resources to put a card into play. Against a card like Tombstalker, if Gerard exiles his graveyard and you submerge it, he might not be able to even be able to cast it the next turn.
Yeah, it's true.
So, be interested to see how Game 3 goes here. Who do you think has the advantage in this matchup?
That's an interesting question. I think it's very draw dependent. I feel like Gerard could do very well if he was on the play with his engineered explosives. I feel like Gerard's go for the throats are really valuable if he draws either of them. Post-board, he has a lot of spot removal. That game was interesting because the fact that Justin had an army of mostly manlands, it meant that Gerard didn't get the value he wanted out of his consuming vapors. And if it had been 2 creatures and 1 manland that were bashing him, the game could have been very different.
Yeah, consuming vapors is a really interesting sideboard card from Gerard. I don't think that's I mean, it's you know, a standard legal card doesn't even see a ton of standard play now, but you know, it gains you some life, potentially kills off some creatures, and the Legacy, where so much is about protecting particular creatures, like your 1 Tarmogoyf or your 1 Tombstalker, that consuming vapors can be pretty brutal, making sure you can kill off their creature and gain a bunch of life in the process, which can really be a big swing in the matchups where like Tarmogoyf is a 5/6 or or larger. And here comes Vial from Justin. He opted to wasteland Gerard, and finally he's content vialing. So once again, the Merfolk deck doesn't even need a lot of lands to operate. It can trade off those wastelands. Justin still has 2 lands in this instance, but even if he didn't, that Vial would certainly go to town on Gerard. Letting the players shuffle up. All right, and Gerard deploys the ubiquitous Tarmogoyf.
Don't daze me, bro.
And there will be no dazing here from Justin. Justin has a reminder on top of his deck to make sure he takes up that Vial every turn. Oh, and there's the Force. He drew it a little late to hit that Tarmogoyf. And that Goyf is going to be pretty big. It's only a 1/2 right now, but it'll quickly grow to much larger proportions, I imagine, depending on the contents of Gerard's hand. Even if Gerard casts a removal spell and Justin counters it, that's still adding at least instant, if not sorcery, to the graveyard. And Brainstorm here, which is going to bring that Tarmogoyf up to a 2/3. For those of you just joining us while Gerard brainstorms, I'm Gavin Verhey here with Jacob Van Lunen.
Hello.
And this is round 5 of the Star City Games Open Series here in Edison, New Jersey. On your right is Justin Kohler, a Merfolk player. Been playing his deck pretty well. He knows to play for tempo, and is picking up one last game on the back of pretty much just a Marrow Reedry and a couple Mutavaults with some well-timed Force of Wills. On the left, Gerard Fabiano playing Team America, very similar to the deck that got second last week. And he didn't make a ton of changes. He added a 4th hint to Turak, and he's been playing the deck. He's 4-0 currently, both players are. And both of them are looking to be 5-0. This is game 3, and the winner will advance to 5-0 in this event.
It's an interesting game so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
they're definitely both playing at parity with one another.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen something totally different from the last couple of games. We saw the double Wasteland draw, which really, hampered the start of the game. And, in Standard, you don't have to worry about that. Well, I can keep my land hands, and Tectonic Edge will get me on, turn 5-6, or after I have time to develop. But in a Legacy, you could just easily lose your first couple lands, and if you don't have a plan after that, it's lights out. Gerard is casting a card named Ghastly Demise on Lord of Atlantis, which says destroy a creature with power, or is it toughness?
I believe it's toughness less than the number of cards in your graveyard.
Toughness less than the number of cards in your graveyard, yes. And Justin forces it. On Justin's side of the battlefield is an Aether Vial on 1 counter, I believe, taking up to 2. Yeah, taking up to 2 this turn, alongside Lord of Atlantis. And Gerard has a Tarmogoyf, which is currently looks to be a 2/3 Tarmogoyf. Mutavault comes down for Justin. And Lord of Atlantis crashes in, dealing Gerard 2 points. And Ghastly Demise is in fact toughness. We looked it up. And Coralhelm Commander, the Rise of the Eldrazi rare, really gave a great boost to this Merfolk archetype. Being a 4/4 flying Merfolk that pumps all your other Merfolk, certainly no slouch.
And it pops in off your Aether Vial when it's only on 2. That's what we just saw there.
Yes. Popped in and moved up to level 3. Next turn, what Justin can do is level his Coralhelm Commander up to level 4, activate his Mutavault, and crash in for quite a bit of damage. That'll be 3 on the Lord.
Is, pretty big. Flies.
Merfolk is a good creature type to be right now on Justin's side of the board, and Mutavault is conveniently a Merfolk. Gerard, go for the throats, killing off the commander though, so that dashes Justin's hope for getting to level 4 on that guy. And Tarmogoyf comes in with creature in the graveyard now. It's a 3/4. Is that a Spell Pierce you just drew? I didn't quite catch it.
I believe it's another Vial.
Another Vial. So he attacks for 5 with the combination of Mutavault and Lord of Atlantis. Yeah, so he drew another Vial, and then he's just sitting on an island. So Justin is out of gas. He's going to have to rely on his Lord and his Mutavault to deal quite a bit of damage. Tarmogoyf a 3/4, crashing in for 3 here. Justin's going to drop to 11. And Tombstalker comes down for Gerard.
Yeah.
That is going to be a big issue for Justin. Without a way to deal with that, he needs to find Submerge right about now. Curse Catcher, not a Submerge.
No, it is not.
He can serve in for 3 with the Mutavault, but that'll only drop Gerard to 9. And even if he gets in for 5 the next turn with the combination of his Curse Catcher and his Mutavault, that'll still only drop Gerard to 4. And that a Tombstalker and Tarmogoyf will probably make quick work of him if he doesn't find some kind of answer.
I'm unsure what Gerard has in his hand. I believe he has a Consuming Vapors in his hand here.
Not totally certain on what Gerard has. He's looking at several cards. I think I see, is that a Jace up front? No, that's a Ponder. Okay. So Gerard uses one of his 4 Ponders here. Looks at 3 cards.
Now the board presence that Gerard has presented now really prevents Justin from putting the type of damage he needs to on the table.
Yeah, Gerard is looking in a good position here. He's pondering though, trying to figure out how could I lose this game? What do I need to find? What could Justin have? Chris Pakula is out of the tournament. He picked up a 2nd loss, and he is done for. So, great to see him out at this event. Maybe we'll have a chance to get to talk to him, but he is done playing. All right, so Justin takes quite a bit here. Counting up how big Tarmogoyf is. And Justin's sitting at 2. Gerard stands up. All right, yeah, and that's it. Gerard takes the match and advances to 5-0.
And New Jersey is representing really well.
Yeah, Jersey again. Gerard, Jersey native.
Yeah. Gerard actually was in the same kindergarten class as my girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they friends?
I did. I mean, they were in kindergarten together. Everybody's friends, right? I don't know. But yeah.